Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of the Around the World podcast. With me, Lucas Clemmer, and Jacob Hernandez, who's actually brought water with him this time, so he won't be gagging on the microphone.
He just tried to tip it over on me.
I don't know about that.
I think so.
So today
he did hit the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah. But today, Jacob, we have a special show because we'll be talking about the USMNT national team since it is World Cup qualifying week for CONCACAF.
Yay!
And they're going to know. So Premier League, Champions League, MLS, La Liga, all that stuff to be pushed aside, Jacob, this time.
Just whip it to the wall,
Because we're going to spend
push it to the side.
Okay, we're going to spend
we don't need that.
We're going to spend like half an hour or so talking about this national team. Because, Jacob, they have 3 games left.
And they're in danger of not qualifying again. Yay!
It depends on how you look at it. But, yeah, by next week, the U.S. national team will know if they qualify for the World Cup or not. Obviously, we'll be on spring break, so we won't be able to talk about that until the week after when we get back. Yeah.
If we don't qualify,
We
might not have another episode. We might just quit.
Yeah.
We might not come to school.
So, the reason why we say they're in trouble, Jacob, is they are in second, and top 3 makes it. The 4th one goes to a intercontinental playoff game versus like New Zealand or like Australia, whoever makes it over there.
In Oceania or something like that.
But people are like probably wondering, Canada's in first place, 25 points. They'd have to lose all 3 games, and crazy scenarios have to go for them to make the World Cup. So they just have to draw one of these 3 games, and they're going to make it.
They're playing the terrible teams.
Yes.
Are they not? I think Canada's through. So that's one spot.
Good for them. They haven't made it in just forever. It's been years.
Costa Rica, Jamaica, and Panama. So
yeah,
not easy teams.
USA plays Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, and that's Mexico's 3rd, Panama's 4th, and Costa Rica's 5th. So they play literally every single team.
Play all the good ones.
All the good teams, and all those teams have something to play because one of these 5 teams, including Canada, are not going to make it. Not even make the Intercontinental playoff game. So these teams are going to have everything to play for, especially Panama and Costa Rica. Costa Rica is only 1 point behind Panama with 16. Panama's got 17. Mexico, they got 21, similar to us.
And they also play Honduras and El Salvador,
Yes.
which are very easy games.
Yes. So USA definitely...
El Salvador hasn't won in their past 5.
No. USA definitely has the hardest schedule out of all these teams and only 1 home game. That's the 2nd game, home versus Panama and Orlando. So, yeah. We'll dive into more about if we think they're going to make it or not. That'll be kind of our end question. But, Jacob, what are our thoughts on the roster Greg Berhalter called in? And if we have a preferred starting 11, what would it be?
All right, so I think first thing that we both noticed was Eric Palmer Brown. Lucas was very animated about this decision. John Brooks didn't make the squad again. We don't know how, as he's probably our best defender. He's not informed currently. However, Eric Palmer Brown is not very good.
I wouldn't even say Brooks is our best defender anymore because he's been so off form for the national team since like maybe this summer. I would probably say Miles Robinson or Walker Zimmerman.
I think maybe Zimmerman might have to be the best one right now.
Listen, like I know like Twitter's upset. I mean, Jake, you probably know this. European snobs, they see an MLS player get called in over young 18-year-old unproven European player, they're gonna lose their minds.
Yeah. Like what the heck?
But I understand Aaron Long because Aaron Long was part of Greg's national team in 2019 when he first took over, and he's now got back from his torn Achilles. He's actually doing pretty good for the Red Bulls. I don't think he's gonna play. He's probably gonna play like 1 game maybe. He might play the first Mexico game or the Costa Rica game.
A little sub off the bench. You know, he's there for just in case.
Because
he's not a bad player.
He's still getting back into his form too. But I don't understand how you can't include Brooks if you're going to include Eric Palmer Brown. Brooks doesn't have to play if you call him up.
Yeah, and it's not like Palmer Brown's going to get any first-team experience. So I don't think he'll play either.
Do you think Palmer Brown's going to get invited to the 60 people that get called in if the USA do make the World Cup to get in for qualifying camp to make the World Cup roster? Because I don't even think he would.
He might be like the last defender chosen in that massive pool of players.
I'm not a fan of Mark McKenzie because we saw him in the Nations League final versus Mexico where
he's not the greatest, but like
Matt Miazga's been called in a lot. I honestly would have. I know Matt Miazga is not the greatest right now, and I know he didn't do good for the national team. I would have picked Matt Miazga, Eric Palmer Brown. He's used Tim Ream more than
Yeah,
Eric Palmer
maybe
Brown.
bring in another experienced player here.
And Tim Ream doesn't have to play. Like, they might only use 3 center backs, maybe 4, because also James Sands can't play. I don't like him like that as a center back, like more as a 6. But
Yeah, I wouldn't play him at center
But
back.
James Sands did play center back in the Gold Cup final with Miles
did.
Robinson against Mexico's A team. Was at home, and he shut him out.
Yeah.
So maybe he does trust James Sands to play, but like
Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman.
those are definitely the starters.
Those are the starting center backs. Sands could play there. Long could play there.
Yep.
I don't see a place for Eric Palmer Brown. So if you're not going to get any experience, is there really a need for a young player to get called up?
You just need to call in someone with experience at that point if they're not going to play, because he's not going to develop anymore if just sitting on the bench. I think Brooks, Ream, or Miazga would have made a lot more sense. Myself personally, no Serginho Dest, Jacob.
Yep.
How much does that hurt? I think it hurts a lot.
That's a big one.
He's a starting right back, and
Or does he play left back for the U.S.?
he's done both, but more so than the past couple of World Cup qualifying games, he's played right back.
Okay.
He's done a lot better defending.
He's going to get better defensively over time. He's a great attacking outside back. He's really quick. He's good with the ball at his feet. Obviously, playing for Barcelona, he gets better at that every day. But the defending, it's going to come along. He's not the best defender, but sometimes that's not what you need from a player like him.
So it's pretty much certain DeAndre Yedlin's going to start this game. Not only he's like one of the most experienced players on the roster, but Reggie Cannon had a false positive COVID test yesterday apparently, so he didn't train yesterday. So I have a hard time even seeing him starting.
Yeah, I'm not sure someone that didn't train should be playing.
And it's most likely, if I was Greg, I would go Zimmerman, Robinson, or Long, depending on Robinson's form. But I would most likely go Robinson, Zimmerman. And then I would go Yedlin and Anthony Robinson on the fullbacks.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. We called up George Bello in place of Serginho Dest. He's probably the backup left back. So does he get games this weekend?
I mean, a lot of people are saying he plays versus Mexico.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But Robinson's definitely playing the home game. But I would personally, if the USA were to get a draw versus Mexico, Bello should play the Costa Rica game, and then maybe you can have Robinson off the bench, because Anthony Robinson has been very good for this team, and he's been really important.
Very important.
So
he's come along.
He's going to play a lot this window. So I would not play George Bello versus Mexico, because I don't think Bello's had the best games, and right now left back our depth is really poor compared to our right back depth.
Yeah. That's why Dest has been playing left back for a couple games. But I think Bello, not even on the roster, gets a call up. He might get some game time.
Yeah, he definitely
off the bench. He probably will get maybe a sub in a couple games.
Yeah. We did skip the goalkeepers, so we'll go quick on the keepers. Zach Steffen starter. Is that pretty obvious?
Yeah, I think so, because the other goalkeepers are out.
Zach Steffen is on a yellow card, though. So if he does get a yellow card for time wasting this game, he is suspended from the Panama game. So do you play Ethan Horvath or Sean Johnson? It would probably have to be Ethan Horvath, but Sean Johnson has been playing in Mexico.
I think you just have to trust your best keeper to not get another yellow.
I would too. I would just tell Stefan that you can't take a yellow card for time.
No time wasting. If we have to come to time wasting,
let
somebody else get a yellow.
Do it. I would stick with Stefan. I would stick with your best keeper in Mexico. I wouldn't mess around with that.
Yeah, and if he does get a yellow, I think Horvath has to come in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Sean Johnson's been doing really well for NYCFC. He's played in Mexico the past couple of weeks for the CONCACAF Champions League, but he hasn't played with these guys at all.
Yeah, he hasn't played with the men's national team.
If Stefan doesn't play or gets yellow card suspension, it has to be Horvath.
Big penalty stop.
Big penalty stop, big savior.
Big save.
I honestly would not be upset if Horvath does play, but I would personally just go with Stefan. All right, midfielders: Kellen Acosta, Tyler Adams, Gianluca Busio, Luca Della Torre, Yunus Musa, and Christian Roldan. And there's also, if you want to count in Pulisic, but they're labeled as forwards. But we'll just go with them.
Yeah.
This is big because I do not think you play Tyler Adams, who's our best 6, because you think you might have. If you play him, Oh, man.
He's gonna have to rest
You can't play Tyler Adams
in all
390 minutes. You just can't.
You can't play him in all three. He's definitely our best defensive midfielder that we have in this roster.
And he's been injury prone too in the past, so you
Yeah.
just can't. I would personally not start him and tell whoever starts in front of him, maybe if it's Kelvin Acosta, just empty the tank for 60 minutes and put Adams in for the last 30 or 25. That's what I would do.
Could Roldan play there as well?
Rodon's can play anywhere. Rodon's been really good for Sounders, but he's played so much minutes for the Sounders in their CCL games, so I wonder if he's even going to start.
Or maybe against Mexico, Acosta and Roldan just both, empty the tank, give it their all for a combined 90 minutes.
That's what I would do.
Then Tyler Adams can play a good 180. That doesn't seem too bad.
Would you personally trust Gianluca Busio playing the 6?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen him play too much of the 6 either.
He played a couple. Well, he's playing the Gold Cup. That's the main tournament we've all seen him in. He did play 6 sometimes, but for Sporting Kansas City and now for Venezia, he's played
in Italy.
Yeah, he's played the 8 and the 10. They also do play 6. I don't trust him as a 6.
I wouldn't trust him as a 6. He's okay at the 6. I'd say he has enough defensive ability to be plugged in there and not do that bad. If someone gets like a sending off or you need to shut the game down, you move him into the 6 as well. Yeah. But I wouldn't start him at the 6 when you have other players that can play there.
My starting midfield 3, Jacob, if I had to do this, I would go Kelvin Acosta as a 6 because he's played there before, and yes, he's had really good games as a 6, and he's had really bad games. But you gotta roll, you gotta bet. I would do Acosta, Christian Roldan, and Luca Della Torre as my midfield 3. And then if Roldan can't go, I would go probably Busio. And then I would have Adams and Musa coming off the bench because Musa and Adams are going to start the Panama game.
Yeah, because I was going to say I think Musa is one of our better midfielders, is he not? But you can't play a midfielder of 270 minutes. That's just not possible.
There's no Sebastian Lletget either, and he's been calling almost every camp. So it's kind of shocking.
Very shocking that you don't bring that experienced midfielder into the last 3 qualifying games. Does Beerhalter think that he's going to bottle it again for us or something like that?
He hasn't played. It's been a while since Lletget's played a really good game for the national team. He has had, but it's been a while. And he also just got traded to the New England Revolution. He hasn't been the best of form just yet. He's just now getting there. Would you play James Sands as a 6 with Kelvin Acosta and Luca Della Torre? Because I might.
That might not be a terrible idea.
Because also it gives you flexibility to go 5 in the back if you want to go for a draw.
If you need to, yeah.
I might do that. I might have James Sands start as a 6 with Kelvin Acosta maybe as a dual 6 and have Luca Della Torre. And then maybe sometimes in the game just move Sands with Zimmerman and Robinson, have that back 3. I might do that.
Yeah, especially if Robinson and Zimmerman are playing well. They aren't injured in the next few hours. Because we still have Long off the bench at center back, so I think we can afford to play Sands at a different position.
Yep. It hurts. There's no Weston McKennie due to injury.
That's
really
massive.
It hurts, man.
I think that really shakes up the entire midfield.
It really. He's played after he got shunned from the first World Cup qualifying cycle when he got suspended. He's been amazing. I remember I went to the USA for Mexico game here in Cincinnati, and he was one of the best players on the field. He scored that game, and he's been just really good. He has that edge and that bite to him, where he's kind of like you hate to play against him, kind of similar to Tyler Adams. He has a swagger about him. He's gotten even better playing at number 8. He's massive, dude, and he can play almost anywhere in that midfield 3. Really, he's better as an 8, and just his presence alone, his leadership, and his physicality and just his quality. It's massive. It's huge. Him and Serginho Dest, the misses those two are going to be night and day.
I think if we have those 2 players, I have a real confidence that we qualify. Yeah. Within the first 2 games.
Because there's been so many inconsistent midfielders. Acosta's played either really good games, we're like, wow, he can definitely do good as that backup 6, or even sometimes come in, or it's horrendous where you're like, he cannot find the game. And it's like that for him in his MLS career too. Luca Del Toro looked decent, and I think he'll give it the go again because he got caught up again in favor. I'm assuming legit.
Probably.
So, he's definitely getting the go, and I would love to see more of him. I've only seen him play like twice or 3 times, and I thought he looked good. Musa's good, but I just don't think you can play him the first game. And Rodon's would be perfect for this game, but he's played so much minutes for his CONCACAF Champions League and for Sounders and MLS too. So, I mean, we'll see, but.
Yeah, I think McKennie out just moves around the whole entire midfield. You know, we're not really sure who's going to play in that midfield with McKennie out. If McKennie's in there, you definitely have like a set on lineup.
I'm going to be so upset if Tyler Adams play. I want him 100% coming off the bench. Adams needs to come off the bench and steal the game out. He cannot play like 60, 65 minutes against Mexico because we need him like 90
we need a win in
Panama needs to be 3 points.
Yes.
As a home game, it needs to be win, and you need a 90% to 100%.
Yeah, we don't play a B team here against Mexico, but we don't play the
A team.
11
You need
starters.
a good balance of both in order to get this result.
Like, you know, the defenders can play, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Forwards, no more Brandon Aronson because he got hurt. No one's called in for him yet. But we got Paul Arriola, Jordan Morris, Pulisic. Gino Reyna is back finally after the first qualifying, which is great. Tim Weah on the wings. And up top, we got Jesus Ferreira, Jordan Peacock, a.k.a. Sibachu, and Ricardo Pepi. Anything that jumps out to you normally? What would your front three be from Mexico? Pulisic, 100% off the bench. I know he's in amazing form, but he's the exact same thing I have with Tyler Adams. Is we need 100% Pulisic for Panama because he needs to be the star that game. But he definitely needs to play this game. He doesn't need to start. I would go Jordan Morris and Paul Arriola and probably Ricardo Pepi, because Morris and Arriola are really good at high pressing and pressing because they try really fast, and that's what we're going for against Mexico.
Just get that 1 point, and then go into the next game, get 3.
Now, Paul Arriola doesn't have the best quality. That's not – everyone can really see that. But he tries hard, and he gives it his 100% on the wing, and he will pressure –
That's the type of game this is going to
exactly.
be. You know, we need to just grind out 1 point. 3 points isn't really the aim here. You know, playing a mixed team, going for the 3 points in the next game, because we need like 5 points to qualify.
Exactly.
So a win has to come against one of these teams. I don't think it's going to be against Mexico, no matter what team we play.
Like, because for me, the starting wings for Panama is Pulisic and Tim Weah, because Weah's played amazing this cycle. Yeah. I think they both come off the bench if you want to get a point or even maybe steal it.
Or Reyna off the bench to get him a little match fitness.
Yeah, Reyna just played his first 90 minutes for Dortmund this past weekend for the first time since October last year. It's been forever. Yeah, that's who I would go with, honestly. I think the wingers can get a full 4 people, like a full change on both.
Yeah.
If you start Morris and Arriola and you sub up with Pulisic and Weah or Reyna for one of those. I could understand if you just don't want to play Reyna at all and you want to play him for Panama and Costa Rica. I get that, but
I'm not sure if coming back from injury he's going to be able to play 2 90-minute games in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he going to be like a super sub maybe? You know, a couple minutes each game?
I think there's a good chance he starts against Panama myself personally.
Yeah, probably. I think maybe a sub start and then a sub.
I would honestly concede versus Panama and Adams, De La Torre or Acosta, and then Reyna midfield, and then have Pulisic Weah on the wings, and then whoever conveying door is at striker. And we're going to talk about that now because that was one of our questions.
Yeah,
who would we start at striker in these 3 games, and who would you start versus Mexico? Myself personally, I'm starting Pepi.
Yeah, I think Pepi.
Pepi.
None of these names jump out to me. I mean, Peacock, I didn't even know that his name was changed from Sibachu, so I don't think we can go with him.
If you ask Greg Berhalter, he's going to say his best forward is Jesus Ferreira. Ferreira just scored a hat-trick versus Portland Timbers this past weekend and an assist. But if Greg thinks the most important game is Panama, which I think needs to be 3 points, I think he's going to start Jesus Ferreira versus Panama, where we're actually going to have possession because Ferreira can have some technical ability and he can move the ball around, while Pepi and Peacock are kind of target forwards and they don't do a lot for you on the ball. I could see Ferreira starting versus Mexico, but I think he's going to start with Pepi because set pieces are going to be huge, and Pepi scored twice versus, I believe it was Honduras or El Salvador in the first World Cup qualifying stage. He scored twice. Yeah, I would go with Pepe or Sibachu myself personally for this Mexico game. Pepe hasn't scored in 5 months.
That's not good.
I mean, we've gotten this far with a conveying doorbell at striker, so I mean,
we just rotate strikers like no other. We have no set on starter. I mean, we used to have Landon Donovan, Josie Alstor. We didn't have to worry.
Dempsey,
Now,
Bobby Wood.
Oh, we had so many players up there that we could just throw in. We're gonna have a world class striker. Now we don't know who's gonna play at all.
I mean, Josh Sargent's been kind of cast out, kind of like Brooks. And Sargent's been doing a little bit better, but I mean, he's been playing kind of wing.
If we make the World Cup, who starts at striker for us?
Let's focus on getting to the World Cup first, bro.
I-
Bro, it's seriously like
We can't have a second World Cup in a row where we don't make it.
if we do make the World Cup, which we really should, but
We have to.
Jesus Ferreira, Pifok, Pepe. Okay, let's just say I'm not saying they're gonna make the World Cup roster, but that's 3 forwards. Then you have to include Sargent, Daryl DK, Giassi Zardes. Who knows if Altidore gets called into the camp? He hasn't. I mean, just who knows? And I mean, am I forgetting anyone? I mean, Miguel Berry for the Columbus Crew's doing good, and he has Spanish roots, so you better cap tie him. Like that's like 7 strikers that are all talented. Zardes is a veteran of all of them, and Zardes probably won't make the World Cup team. If Zardes makes the World Cup team, that means we don't have a young striker that has blown us away by now.
Yeah.
And because we need Zardes just because he's just reliable.
Yeah, he's the guy that we can put up there if none of these guys perform, if they all just, crap their pants and just...
Because in my opinion, the most talented 3 is Pepe, Sargent, and Daryl DK.
That's probably the most talented.
Based on talent and potential, what they could be. DK could be an Altidore, but even better because he's massive. Pepe and Sargent could be amazing finishers. We've seen the ability. They're just so young, and we just need time. But yeah, that's who I would go with at the top. Have you given your 3? Your wings? Who would you start at wings or striker versus Mexico?
Versus Mexico? I think you swayed me in the way of Areola. He's been capped a lot by the U.S. men's national team. I think you also play the experienced Jordan Morris, and then again Pepe for set pieces.
Yep. Yeah. That's
your big because Ferreira. I don't know if he might want to play him against the next few teams for the 3 points.
Because I think
if he loves him that much.
Because right now he's on form, and it scares me that we're relying on Jesus Ferreira. I know he's a good player, but
he's not the striker you need for 5 points in the last 3 World Cup qualifiers. We
don't have anyone too, really, because
they're all
young and unproven. But we're going based off our best striker because he scored a hat trick this past weekend in MLS. That just shows you how our strikers are just so not informed. There's no one in the men's national team uniform that's putting the ball in the back of the net. They say like Jesus Ferreira. So, I mean, we'll see.
We don't have anyone that's just been consistent.
No, I mean DK was good in the Gold Cup.
Yeah,
Pepe was good in the first stretch.
And now he's gone. DK just not even a call up. I mean, we have a spot. So does Beerhalter call in another player for the next couple, the 2 games after Mexico?
I think he's gonna call in probably a winger because Brandon Anderson played wing.
Yeah, he's
maybe like Matthew Hoppe, who played well in the Gold Cup and he's a fan favorite, doesn't get called in. Maybe it's Sebastian Lletget. Who knows? All right, let's predict these games, Jacob. The first one that we've been talking about a lot because the game is tonight, the day that we are recording this. USA versus Mexico. You want to start?
Sadly, 2-1 Mexico. I think we get a set piece goal. I think we're gonna try for a draw, but Mexico's a little too powerful. I think they're gonna know that if they get a result here, they're pretty much through. They're gonna go for some goals. They're gonna get them. And sadly, we're not gonna pick up any points against Mexico. Hopefully, we can get 1 point.
Yep, 1 point is a really good result. I have a really
Lucas is a bit pessimistic here in these predictions. I don't know what's going on with this man,
dude.
But he is, he's just.
I got just a bad feeling, and I don't know why.
I'm not sure I like it. I don't know what's going on in his head.
I don't know if it's because 5 years ago they had an easier World Cup qualifying cycle and they didn't make it because they lost to Trinidad and Tobago, and these are much harder games. I don't know if it's because McKennie and Des and Matt Turner, and we don't have a striker still, are just gone. They're not here, nor do we have them. I'm going 3-0 Mexico. I think this is a really bad rude awakening for us.
We just play like really bad, and
I think Mexico plays really good because.
And then we just.
If you think about this, Jacob, we beat them 3 times in 3 big games last year. We swept Mexico. We beat them in the Nations League final, one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. We beat them in the Gold Cup final with our C+ team, B- team. And then we beat them in a World Cup qualifier at home that I went to. We beat them in the biggest stages 3 straight times. They're going to be so motivated because now it's finally at Mexico, and Tata Martino, their coach, has lost 3 times against us. And his job is pretty much on, like, it's almost on the line.
Yeah, if he doesn't win against the United States.
I don't think they'll fire him because they're already like in a World Cup qualifying cycle. But if they do make it, they might get rid of him just because they're going to play scrappy, they're going to play dirty, they're going to play all out because they want to make it life difficult for us. It's a full capacity at Estadio Azteca. It's going to be bad. I think depending on who we play, it's going to really affect out the outcome. I just have a really bad feeling. I think we're going to just get thumped at Mexico.
You think this is a rude awakening where we just kind of we get in our own heads a little bit for the next 2 games? We're like, oh snap, we're in danger of not qualifying again.
All the MLS players that we do have that called up have all been playing in the CONCACAF Champions League, or most have been playing in the CCL for their own clubs, so their legs are done. And so we're calling European players, and we've seen plenty of European players struggle in CONCACAF qualifying settings on the road because they're just not used to it.
Does Mexico have any players that fit that bill as well? They've been playing a few games.
Yeah, but
they still have lots of quality.
They called in a lot of young players this time too. So
Let's look up their lineup.
I mean, we'll see. I could see, like, if we get a draw, 100% good result, and I could really see it. But I can also, my brain is telling me it's going to be a really bad game, and I hope I am wrong. I hope I come here a week and a half from now, Jacob, and we win like 2-0, get our first ever win at the Azteca, and I'm like, I was so wrong, and I'm so proud of this team. I just don't see it, especially since we beat them 3 times last year and made them L tree with 3 L's. They're going to be so motivated. You want to just move on to the Panama?
Yeah, we don't want to get too worked up over Mexico.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes too, so let's go quick.
Panama, we have to win this game. We have to go all out for this game. If we don't win, we're screwed. That would be 2 L's in a row probably. I have 3-1 USA. Panama. Every CONCACAF, team is going to be a little scrappy. They're going to try and get some goals. So Panama might get a goal. Yep. But the U.S. playing like their best lineup, this will be their A team in this game. I think they're going to score lots of goals. I think Pulisic's not going to let this team, go down that path again. He's not going to let them slack off.
I think this is going to be a massive Pulisic game. I think Pulisic's going to have, because he had one of his best games 5 years ago versus Panama at home. I think he's going to do it again, and I also have 3-1 USA winning. I think this is the A team. I think they play all out. Panama's going to sit back and absorb and just try to counter. And Panama's been playing good. They've been playing a lot of intensity, but I still think USA are going to pull away and get a 3-1 victory because I think Pulisic's going to have one of the games that we'll be talking about for a long time. Yeah. And then the last game.
These games are in pretty quick succession to one another. Not a lot of rest, so the A team cannot play every game.
We didn't talk about this much, but Costa Rica, they've only won there, I believe, once ever. It's a hard place to play, especially USA at Costa Rica. This could be everything for Costa Rica. Costa Rica might have to win this game in order to qualify.
I guess we don't know the 2 results that they're going to have before this game.
We're just throwing a dart
in the ocean.
Yeah, we're just seeing.
Really, because this team is not very reliable. Costa Rica, they lost their last game But before that, win, draw, win, win. So I mean, they're in pretty good form. They're gonna know that they have to get a lot of points in this last cycle. Who do they play beforehand? They play Canada and then El Salvador. El Salvador, I think I can win. Canada.
If Canada beats Costa Rica, that would be huge for us.
Yes, I think Canada should win. They probably will win, but does Canada go with like a B team, a C team? Do they not really try against Costa Rica? I don't know.
We'll see. My prediction is 1-1. I think this is going to be one of the worst games to watch. The third games in CONCACAF qualifying is always either the best or the worst. It's going to be chippy. It's going to be set piece galore. I think it's going to be even worse than the Mexico game. I just went with 1-1. I went with a safe result. I hope to God, Jacob, this game is not meaningful. If this game's meaningful, we're in trouble.
I really hope we can win this game. I said 3-2 to the United States. I have a little bit more faith than Lucas. I'm not sure if that's good.
Bro, I'm just scarred from 5 years ago. It's in my mind. I just need to see it to believe it, honestly, bro. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's going to be easy. It
definitely won't be easy, but I think Lucas has a little bit more knowledge of the United States men's national team than I do, and a little bit more knowledge of of CONCACAF. So seeing him and his predictions and not having a lot of faith in us, I'm getting a little worried.
Mexico is always a hard game. We lost to Panama at Panama. This was our only loss in the local qualifying cycle. Costa Rica, we barely beat 2-1, and I am so nervous.
This isn't going to be fun for viewers.
And we don't have our second best midfielder, Weston McKennie, or arguably the best, with Tyler Adams, and we still don't have a striker. We haven't had a striker for almost two and a half years.
Mm-hmm. We're missing an outside back, one of our best center mids.
Our other starting goalkeeper, Matt Turner.
Goalkeeper that just went to Arsenal, so he has quality if he's getting signed in the Premier League.
Yep. All right, last question because we've gone over here. Will we make?
That's okay.
Will we make?
This is a special episode
Exactly.
for the fans. We can go over. This is a big episode. It's gonna take a while to render.
Exactly.
But
will we?
Sorry, Mr. Connor.
All right, last question, Jacob.
Will we make the World Cup?
What do you think?
I really hope so. I don't know. I'm going to say yes, but it's going to be a tight margin, and it might have to be based on other teams' results. It's going to be really scary.
I'm going to say yes as well, despite my nervousness.
I think we just have to say yes.
Because we should, but
we should.
We
need to. We absolutely have to. Second one in a row. If we don't make it out of CONCACAF, come on, guys.
What if we make fourth place and we have to play New Zealand, Australia in a World Cup in a playoff game?
Okay, so fourth place is really the worst case scenario. I think.
I would take that over not making it if we lose all three.
I think we either squeak out third. I do kind of have a feeling that fourth might be where we end up. Sadly, do we play like an Oceanic?
Yeah, I think it's an Oceanic team.
Okay.
It could be. Hold on, let's look at Ocean.
Yeah.
Let's look at the possible fourth place.
Because this very well might happen. This is gonna be.
It's most likely gonna be New Zealand.
Probably.
Yeah, it would be New Zealand because all these there are bunch of islands outside around there. I don't think we're gonna play Fiji. Yeah, we would play New Zealand and we would be heavy favorites, but still.
I mean, New Zealand, they got some players. They're gonna want to make the World Cup.
They got the Norwich forward on their team, don't they? Wood.
I think so.
No, he's Swedish. I don't know what I'm talking about. My brains are.
Pookie or something?
Yeah, Pookie.
Oh, he's like Finnish.
Oh. Well, I messed up. And that's a good way to end this.
Let's look at the roster. It might pull up a different, it pulled up a different sport. Oh, they have Chris Wood. Ooh. Winston Reed. Liberto
Winston
Cacace.
Reed. Oh, yeah, that's KC legend.
Ooh, I mean, they have a
Huxell.
couple of decent players.
They even USA
They're
should,
not the
man.
best, but I mean, the USA should qualify here. Whether it's in first, second, third, fourth, we should get through.
Should we do another special, you think, if we qualify or not, or do you want to just do it in the next episode?
Oh, I think we have to come back for another special.
I think we do.
A celebration.
I think we do.
I think we have to have a
A
celebration.
celebration or a funeral. Either we mourn.
My head's in my hands. A funeral. We might just throw it's not our computer though. We can't throw it against the wall.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, we can throw our own computers against the wall.
That's true.
We might just come in here crying. We
Oh,
might do
I'm
an actual video podcast,
Oh,
where you could just see us crying.
Please.
If we don't make it, we'll put up on our graphic a picture of us crying.
100%. I'm down. Because
I
it could happen, but we'll start tonight and we'll see. I'll be texting you. We'll see how it goes.
Oh my! I hope this goes well.
All right. Anything else? Any last thoughts before we end this?
Pulisic, please help us. The LeBron James of soccer. You need to come through here and save us. Get us to the World Cup. We're not going to do anything in the World Cup, but we need to make it. There's no way we beat any of the European teams. Would we even qualify out of Europe?
I think we would. We qualified the group of death, so, I mean, who knows? We're getting too ahead of ourselves, but if we don't even make it, oh my God, dude, what if we don't make it again?
Do we even make it at the group stage?
It depends on the group. We'll see.
Okay. We can do this, guys.
Nervous, super nervous, but I still believe they can pull it through because when it's time to put up or shut up, this team has done that for pretty much almost every single time.
And we've choked. Sometimes.
I believe this team won't let that happen again. And I will eat my words proudly if that does. So we'll recap this about a week. We'll take it next week off.
Yep, next week, spring break. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but don't worry. We'll come back with 2 shows.
Another double episode week?
We'll have one where we talk about, obviously, all the European action that's happened and preview the Champions League games and all that stuff. And then we'll have one to either celebrate or be in misery of this cycle. But yes, we are taking next week off.
Who doesn't want another double episode week?
I know I do.
I would love it. It's gonna be great.
All right.
Well, I'm not gonna end it with the Ronaldo C this time. Because this is the United States of America. Well, what's the celebration that we do?
Do you believe?
I believe.
I believe too. I believe that, Jacob.
I believe that we.
I believe that we.
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Are we gonna end on that?
I think so. All right. I hope you believe that we'll win too.
Yep, I do too. And we'll see you guys in about a week and a half.
Yep. See you then.